Hey, it's Wes, and today's video is going to be a little different. Most of the videos I try to make when I'm talking about becoming free to play, they're basics that you can apply no matter when you watch this video. You can watch this video in 2021, 2022, 2025. You could go back to 2018 and watch the same type of a video, and it's going to be what you would think of as always kind of in style. Today's video is kind of like that as well, where we're going to talk about the aspect of this game that a lot of people are really focused on. That's this. We want to talk about becoming a free-to-play player who is in Mythic tier. Now, of course, who am I? Well, lo and behold, I am a Mythic player, and I am free-to-play. How common am I? Honestly, probably more common than what people realize. The thing is, once you unlock the secrets of getting here and how to do it, and I've got quite a few videos on that, once you unlock those secrets, there's a lot of things you all of a sudden come to realize after you've made Mythic a couple of times. And here's what you become really become relevant for you. First and foremost, this is an absolute time sink. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, it's not a time sink like, say, like World of Warcraft or some of those type of MMO RPG type games. You're right. It's maybe not that big of a time sink, but here's the difference. Whenever you're playing a game like World of Warcraft, you eventually level up your guy, you get him to a certain strength and level, you're playing your character, and you get to a point where, like, you know what? I'm finally to the point. The problem here is it resets every month. So you never get to that point and then just coast. That's good and bad. If you're competitive, I'm competitive. If you're competitive, it doesn't bother you. But if you're a free to play player, it's hard to always stay competitive. And so it's got that hamster wheel effect of what's happening. Basically, you jump on that hamster wheel for a month, you run, 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 run. You get to where you think you want to be, and then boom, the month's over. And next thing you know, you're right back down. Now here's the key thing though. Once you've made Mythic, it's easier to get back there. Because first off, you know the steps that got you there. Secondly, you also realize a couple things. Whenever the reset happens, instead of starting all the way down in bronze, you're starting like either in gold or platinum. I can't remember which, but you don't have to climb as far. And so that's a big deal. So, as a free to play player who's wanting to get to Mythic, once you're there, then what? Well, everybody wants to climb to the top 1200. At least for a long time, that was kind of the goal. I know there's been a lot of changes to the whole Magic, I guess you could say the official road tours and things like that, the actual professional circuit in the last couple months. I've not stayed up on top of all of it because I realized that, you got to get your cart in front of the horse or the horse in front of the cart. And basically, it's one of those things where you got to get to Mythic before you can think about getting to the top 1200. And honestly, as a free to play player, to get to top 1200, I don't even know if it's possible. To get to Mythic is definitely possible because I've done it myself. And to be quite honest, I don't think I may be rare, but the only reason I'm rare is because I know how to get there. Not because of the fact that I'm special. It's because I know how to do it. And so once you kind of figure out how to do it, and of course I've got a number of videos about that, you can get there once again. So the original climb, a lot of people want to get to the top 1200 for various reasons, to be able to get into the pro circuit, notoriety, all of that good stuff. But here's the thing. Once you're into Mythic, to climb successfully in Mythic, you have to ask yourself a question. First off, the decks that got you here, every tier has its own meta. It's just the way it is. The lower tiers, you're going to run a lot more into more jank, maybe into bigger combos that are very, very difficult to pull off, and they can't climb with those decks because there's just too many functions happening to make that deck work. But at the end of the day, here's the thing. Once you're in Mythic, you've got the meta. Meta means most efficient tactic available. And you have to realize, though, this is also still a game. It's kind of like rock, paper, scissors. So what in the rock, paper, scissors is strongest? Well, they're all countered by something. So the concept and the idea of breaking the meta is that you find something that's good against rock, good against paper, good against scissors, but maybe not great against everything. And so a lot of people, when they begin to think about breaking the meta, that begins this idea of, okay, once I'm too mythic, wow, to really get to the top, I gotta do all these special things. Well, if your deck got you to mythic in the first place, keep playing it. Keep playing it. Don't forget though, you can challenge yourself and you can try new things, and maybe you'll get lucky with a homebrew. Don't get me wrong, it's entirely possible. And in fact, when you really get down to it, some of the best players oftentimes are always homebrewing. They're always looking at how cards interact. I personally have got a couple ideas I'm putting together for a homebrew. And to be honest, before I play too much more Mythic, I want to see if I can build that homebrew first. And it's actually a build off of, if you take a look, it's a build off of this Quandrus deck that I had built and kind of renamed it Stamps just so I can modify it and not screw up my Quandrix deck. But the concept and idea behind it's real simple. It's built off of Magecraft, and it's built off of the ability to pump up cards like Dragon's Guard Elite. And if you think about Magecraft, what's going on in this particular deck is things like Field Trip, where you're getting more and more mana into play. Well, guess what? If you have more land into play, when you're drawing a card, you're drawing more creature or more spell cards because you're taking the land out of your deck. And then secondly, of course, it's got learn. So you're bringing in things from your sideboard that you may need as well. And then eventually you get to where you've got something huge like a manifestation sage where you can cast a large creature into play very, very quickly. Now, am I saying that that's what I'm going to go with? I'm not entirely sure yet. It's still a thought in my mind at this point. But if you think about something, you look at like Biomathematician. Is it a great card? Not really. But there's other ones where you can tap a lot of mana to be able to keep putting the +1/+1 counters. Or there's Tanazir Quandrix himself who doubles the counters. So you got Dragon's Guard Elite in play and you got Tanazir coming to play. You could double those up. And of course, she has the ability to even double it herself. So it's just one of those things where that's where I'm wanting to go next. And that's the deck I want to try to build next, is working off those mechanics. Now, the simple truth is, that's something that I'll have to tackle another day. I think the next thing I'm going to do first is another draft soon. That way, maybe I can augment that deck a little bit better. So, what are we really talking about? We're talking about trying to break the meta. In all honesty, you can't really break the meta. You can just break what decks are in the meta. And so that's really what you're trying to do, because once your deck becomes powerful and it's countering everything else, and somebody's going to say, you know what, that's now the meta. So you don't really break the meta. I mean, I know it's just an expression people use, but just to kind of explain it like you're a 5-year-old, you're not really breaking the meta. You're creating a whole new one. So the other thing about free to play as a mythic tier player, the other, and this is an important thing that I have not discussed on this channel yet, standard rotation. Standard does not rotate out for another 3 months at this point, I believe. We're in spring right now, late spring, almost summer, and rotation starts in the fall. I can't remember if it's September, October, somewhere in there is when rotation begins. And between now and then, we've got a couple sets that are coming out that are going to be huge, I know. So the impact isn't quite there yet for a lot of players. They're not thinking about it yet. But to me personally, wow, I went down 1% and I've not even played. Huh. But to me personally, the real challenge is that I'm now thinking, and I'm looking at my deck. My only mythic tier deck is this. It's my favorite deck, right there. This is my only mythic tier deck. Elciad is leaving standard. I think he may be leaving standard. He might be leaving standard. Holy cow. He's leaving standard. I think she's staying. I know he's going. She's going. I think he's staying. Oof. I think you see where this is going. That is a big black cat. So the thing is, I'm having to think about stuff that a player who invests time and money into this game is currently not having to think about. And it's just, that's the nature of the beast. It's just one of those situations where there's really no control over that. I'm sitting here and I'm eyeing this deck and I'm like, this deck isn't finished. But look at what I have left. I've got 11 common, 20 uncommon, 0 rare, and 1 mythic. Do I keep building this deck? No, I don't. I have to build the next one. Because at this point, yeah, I'll be able to. I've already finished Mythic this month. I got July and August that I can still ride this deck for at least 2 more months. September, possibly, depending on exactly when the cutoff is. Um, so maybe I've got 3, 4 more months at best for this deck. But I need to start building these back up so that whenever the rotation starts, I'm not left out in the wind, because otherwise I'm going to be sitting for literally months with a deck that's substandard trying to get back to where I am right now. Anyways, I just wanted to take this opportunity to be able to talk a little bit about what's going on within Magic, talk a little bit about being a free to play player, and just kind of highlight a couple points that, in all honesty, you're probably not going to hear anywhere else. Have a great day.